Hello everyone, I am Sarah Jean Simborio and I will be your reporting for today. My report is all about Chapter 8 entitled Grading and Reporting. So as we all know, grading and reporting system is the one of the most frustrating aspects for teaching. It is because teachers need to consider so many factors and decisions to be made. So in this chapter, we are talking about first, functions of grading and reporting system. Second, the types of grading and reporting system. Third, the development of a grading and reporting system. Fourth, assigning letter grades and computing grades. 5, norm or criterion reference grading. 6. Distribution of grades and guidelines for effective grading. And lastly, conducting parent-teaching conferences. So, the main aim of grading system is to provide results in brief, understandable form and for varied users. So now, let's discuss the functions of grading and reporting systems. Grading and reporting system have some very important functions. Educative process. So we have 3 functions of grading and reporting system. So first is the improve students' learning by clarifying instructional objectives for them, showing students strengths and weaknesses, providing information on personal and social development, and indicating where teaching might be modified. This can be achieved through day-to-day tests and feedback integrated periodic tests. So second is the reports to parents or guardians. Grading and reporting system also inform parents about development of students. It likewise to communicate objectives to parents so they can promote learning and also communicate how well objectives being met. So parents can make a better plan. So third is the administrative and guidance uses. In administrative and guidance uses, help decide promotion, graduation, honors, and athletic eligibility. So it reports achievements to other schools or to employers, and it provides input for realistic educational, vocational, and personal counseling. So number 2 is the types of grading and reporting system. So we have 6 types of grading and reporting systems. The traditional letter grade system, pass-fail, checklist of objectives, letters to parents or guardians, portfolios, and parent-teaching conferences. So in the traditional letter system or traditional letter grade system, students' performances are summarized by means of letters like A, C, D, and F. So A stands for excellence, C stands for average, D is for needing improvement, and F as a failure. So this is common in the elementary levels. This type of grading and reporting system is easy to understand but has limited value because they end up being a combination of achievements, efforts, work, habits, and behaviors. As such, they are difficult to interpret and they do not indicate patterns of strengths and weaknesses. So the second types of grading system is the pass-fail. This type of grading system is very common in the college courses. It is a dichotomous grade system. Either the student has complied and reached certain standards, in which case he passes, or he failed to do so and he gets a failing mark. So third is the checklist of objectives. In this system, the objectives of the course are enumerated after each objective. The student's level of achievements is indicated as outstanding, very good, good, fair, and poor. So this is a very detailed reporting system and tends to be more informative, however, very time consuming to prepare. So the fourth one is the letters to parents and guardians. Letters to parents and guardians are useful supplement to grades. However, they have limited value as sole report because they are misinterpreted by parents and guardians and they are characterized by neither a systematic nor cumulative. Next is the portfolios. So, as already explained, a portfolio is a set of purposefully selected works with commentary by students' strengths and weaknesses, illustrating range of students' work, showing progress over time or stages of a project, teaching students about objectives or standards they are to meet. So the last one is parent-teaching conferences. So parent-teacher conferences are mainly used in elementary schools. This requires that parents of pupil come for a conference with the teacher to discuss the pupil's progress. So portfolios, when available, are useful bases for discussion. Such conferences are useful for a two-way flow of information and getting more information and cooperation from the parents. They are, however, of limited value as a report because most parents do not come for such conferences.
Hello everyone, this is my second part our PowerPoint presentation entitled about reading and reporting. So by the way, before we start, I introduce myself. I am Rain Walter Labayin. And number three, develop of grading and reporting system. Grading and reporting system are guided to the functions to be served by such in the educative process. The system will most probably be a compromise become of the host of factors to be considered in the preparation. And next is the daily grading and reporting system should be development cooperatively. Parents, students, personnel in order to ensure development of a more in the quiet systems and the system that is understandable to all they should those able be. Next is based on a clear statement of learning objectives. The grading and reporting system that needs to be based on the same set learning objectives that the parents, teachers, and student the and graded at the beginning. Next is based on adequate assessment. The grading and reporting should be easily variable, verifiable through adequate system of testing, measurement, and assessment method. Next is based on the right levels of data. The system must be detailed enough to be diagnostic but compact enough to be practical to not time in consuming. And number four, and next slide is the number four is assigning letters, grades, and computing grades. Assigning to student must include only achievement it in very important to avoid temptation to include effort for least able student because it is the difficult to assess to effort or potential, and it is difficult to distinguishing ability from achievements. Next is grading reflection on the report cards are numbers of numerical quantities arrived at after several data on the student of performance are combined. Next is properly weight each component at the create a composite. The weight used are normally agreed upon by the school official, e.g., how many percent goes for quizzer. Next is principal component analysis, which is handily practiced is school because of the difficult involved both on component on same scales to weight properly. Letter A, quiet range of score. Letter B, or convert all to T scores or other standard score. Next is number 5, norm of criterion, criterion reference grading. Grades may reflect relative performance, i.e., score compared to others student where you rank. This is more commonly called the letter A. Letter A. Teka, wait. Letter A, like a class rank depend of what group you are and host just your performance. And letter B, typical grades by B shifting up or down depending on group ability. Letter C, widely used become most classroom testing in more reference grading may also to reflect absolute performance scored compared specified performance standard. And what can you do? Letter A, grades does not depend on what group you are in but only on our own performance compared to sit on performance on standard. Letter B, grading is a complex task because grade most grade most is and and number one clearly define the domain. Number two, clearly define or justify the performance to standard. And letter C, be based on criterion refers assessment. And letter C, condition are hand to meet except to complete mastery learning system. Finally, grades might also reflect learning ability or improvement performance scores compared to learning potential or past performance in such a system. And letter A, grades are consistent with a standard-based system because now each child is child is she or her own standard. And letter B, reliability is the estimating learning abilities experiment from achievement is very difficult. Letter C, one cannot reliably measure change with classroom measures. And letter D, therefore, should only be used and supplement. And that's all. Thank you for our PowerPoint presentation. And last and the end of our PowerPoint presentation. Thank you guys. Thank you classmates.